Alright, so let's say you have a Windows XP PC and then you want to upgrade it to Windows 7. It's actually possible, and if you download the Windows 7 Upgrade Advisor, then it lets you know what passed, what didn't, and then what are the requirements, so that way Windows 7 will run properly. Doesn't mean that it can't run at all. It just tells you what it needs in order to run properly. And next you know, you upgrade to Windows 7, great and all this, and then you find some problems and then you eventually find a solution to them. However, sometimes when you need to install some of the drivers, it may not install all of them, and if you try to find one that was meant for another operating system, might possibly chance you be used on Windows 7, and next thing you know, some of them can't and say this is only compatible for Windows Vista. Alright, so what I want to talk about in this video is upgrading your current PC from whatever operating system you're on, whether it's Windows XP, Windows Vista, 7, and I'm not going to include Windows 8 because that's the most recent one right now, and there's no operating system that's newer than Windows 8 that you can upgrade to until Microsoft decides, or they start releasing, Windows 9, Windows 10, whatever they're going to call that. But let's talk about upgrading from Windows XP. So if you upgrade from Windows XP, then of course you can upgrade to Vista 7 and 8. And Windows Vista, from what I've been told recently or what I've heard, it crashed a lot. So Windows Vista was not a very good operating system, but Microsoft was able to fix it. But I think that Windows 7 is better than Windows Vista. Plus, the way Windows Vista was organized in terms of some of the icons when you're in Windows Explorer or something, when you're in the control panel and all that, I feel like Windows 7 is a lot more organized than Windows Vista. That's why I prefer Windows 7, and it's just more convenient for me. As far as Windows 8, I like that too, so I can go with either one. But the thing is, Windows 8 is best to use if you have a computer or a device with a touchscreen on it. If you have one without a touchscreen, I don't know what kind of complications you could be running into. It is possible to use it without the touchscreen by going to the desktop, or when you're the start screen, you can just use the scroll bar on your mouse to go from left to right, or use your trackpad to go from left to right just by doing some sort of gesture, like 2-finger gesture or 3-finger gesture, whatever that is. Or you would just have to, you use the scroll bar feature on your trackpad, which for Windows 7 is usually all the way to the right. Now, when you're upgrading from your current operating system to a newer operating system, there are some things you have to keep in mind of. First of all, the type of your system, whether it's 64-bit or 32-bit, that's fine, that's easy. Then you need a new product key. Now, how are you going to get a new product key? There are many different ways out there, but the one official way that I know of is call Microsoft and then get a replacement product key or something, or get a new product key. Of course, people try to find them for free, but if you want to play it safe, then you might as well just get it from Microsoft and then pay whatever the cost was. I think it was $10 or something, I don't know. Don't quote me on that, that's just what I've read somewhere, and I'm not sure if that's exactly true or not, or if Microsoft just gives you, oh, there you go, here's your replacement key, no charge. That'd be great, wouldn't it? So that way you don't have to pay a penny, but obviously Microsoft's not going to let their customers get away with that. Now, if you were to upgrade from Windows XP to Windows 7, you have to find the compatible drivers of your PC by going to your manufacturer's website and then find the model of your PC and then select the operating system that can run in it, such as like for example, a PC out there is the Sony Vaio AR250G. Alright, that's a PC laptop running Windows XP. And it can be upgradable to Windows Vista. And then if you're going to upgrade that to Vista, then you just change it to Windows Vista and then you download all your drivers right there. Now, at this time, there's no specific page for Windows 7 drivers to be run on that. But I recently installed Windows 7 on that laptop for somebody, and Windows 7 works fine on that thing. Even though most of the drivers I downloaded to install on that were Windows Vista. I shouldn't say most of it. All the drivers I attempted to install on the thing were Windows Vista compatible, and they were saying, you know, when some Windows Vista drivers are compatible with Windows 7, but it's best if you find a specifically driver for Windows 7. But if you can't, then here's your option. Although some of the drivers I tried to install wouldn't work, and it gave me a pop-up message saying this is specifically worked for Windows Vista, not Windows 7. So I had to let it go. There's nothing I can do about it. So that's just a few things you have to keep in mind when you're upgrading to a newer operating system from whatever operating system you are on right now. And regardless of what it is, these are things you have to keep in mind. And if you download like these Upgrade Advisor tools, it'll let you know what passed and what didn't, and then what you need in order to have almost the best experience of Windows 7 or whatever operating system you're trying to install on your PC. Is this a good or a bad thing, or is there something that is better than upgrading your current PC from a certain manufacturer to a newer operating system? In my opinion, I think it's a good thing, because, you know, as newer operating systems are being released from Microsoft, you know, in terms of Windows, not sure about Apple, you know, Apple, that's just off to the side for now. Plus, I don't use Macs very often. I don't even have one, so I can't say anything about that. But, you know, they can be said about the same thing, you know, newer operating system increases the speed a little bit. And plus, you know, when you're looking at a new operating system back at the older operating system, like Windows XP for example, it just seems very odd making that huge leap. And then you're going back to an older operating system and you're like, I miss Windows 7 already. Or I miss Windows 8 already. Or I miss Windows Vista already. Even though Vista sucked back then, but it still worked. It's a bad thing at the same time, because you'll have to lose or make some sacrifices. Such as, like, for example, the laptop I installed Windows 7 for, the Sony Vaio AR250G. There's this button called FN, which is the function key, and then you push and hold that, then you push like F7 or F6, whatever it is, and then it gives you options if you want to have the display shown on just the computer itself, or if you want to duplicate the display, extend it, or if you want it to show on your external display. You no longer can do that. You have to right click on your desktop, go to screen resolution, and then select show desktop on monitor 2 or monitor 1, or duplicate these displays, extend these displays. So you don't have that function key anymore. I did let him know that's what he had to do from now on. And I don't know, sometimes this could be convenient, sometimes it's not. It really depends on your personal preference. For me, so far on how I've done it, I actually don't mind it, and I look forward to taking some old desktops I have in my house right now and then upgrade those to Windows 7, and one of them will have both Windows XP and Windows 7 on it, because that'll be my PC where I can fool around with it, meaning I'm gonna break it and then try to solve the problem, and hopefully I don't have to put any money for that as I'm doing that. So otherwise that'll require some hardware upgrades, which I don't want to do. So what do you guys think about upgrading your current PC from a current operating system you're on to a newer operating system? I'd like to see what your thoughts are in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.